The motors started. Jérôme Bourcard, cart number 402, the runner-up in the championship last year from Besançon in France. He is starting on the front row with Christophe Adams. Cristiano Magado and Colin Davis are on lap 2. You saw our caption showing the 16 laps, a 16-lap race distance for pre-finals. On the third row, Radim Faber of the Czech Republic and another South African, John van Wyk. And on the fourth row, Georges Popov and Mark Thompson. And I'm being told that Chris Magado will not start. Well, I thought I saw Chris Magado. Let me just explain. You see on our caption, on the inside of the second row, Cristiano Magado, the former world champion. He's a non-starter. He came out in this morning's warm-up, but clearly doesn't feel fit enough to drive. The significance of that is that he had a very, very, very heavy collision with the tyre wall in the DD2 category yesterday. I spoke to him early this morning. He said, I've got a headache, I feel a bit dizzy, but if my head clears, I'll race. Won't race DD2, I'll race Masters. He came out in Masters warm-up this morning, was second quickest in the warm-up behind Christophe Adams, but clearly he's decided that he's not fit to race, and so we lose in a very depleted field, I'm afraid, one of our drivers and one of our top drivers. We had 3 world champions in this field. We have to settle now for just 2 because 401 Colin Davis is the reigning Rotax Euro Challenge champion and the reigning Rotax World Masters champion. Pole position man Christophe Adams is the world DD2 Masters champion, and Cristiano Magado was the outright Rotax World champion, winning his title at Sharm el Sheikh in Egypt in January 2004. Sadly, we have to settle for just 2 world champions, but sadder still really is that this is a rather depleted field now with just 7 starters. Yesterday, we only had 8 starters, and or maybe it was 9 starters, and we had some fabulous racing. So, can we look forward to... Oh, and Jérôme Bourcard and Christophe Adams touch a little bit, and Colin Davis trying to move into second place and does so. So, Christophe Adams leads, Colin Davis, the world champion, in second place, Jérôme Bourcard in third place as they come down the hill and turn right, down towards the inner hairpin, the first of these flat hairpins as opposed to the one on the bank, but Christophe Adams, the pole position man, jumping out into a big lead in cart number 408. When I say a big lead, I mean in relative terms. In second place, Colin Davis looks over his shoulder. Jérôme Bourcard putting pressure on him. There is Colin Davis in the white helmet, the white racing overalls in second place. Jérôme Bourcard is also under pressure from John van Wyk, cart number 417. It's Radim Faber, isn't it? It's Radim Faber who's got himself forward. We complete the first lap of these 16, so 15 to go. Christophe Adams, Colin Davis, Jérôme Bourcard are your 1, 2, 3. Radim Faber, the Czech Republic driver, is in fourth place, and Jérôme Bourcard has taken second place off Colin Davis as I was looking at my timing screen. So, Christophe Adams increases his lead, Jérôme Bourcard second, Colin Davis third, Radim Faber fourth, and, well, Colin Davis, is he going to get back to Jérôme Bourcard in shot there? Cart number 421, Georges Popov. 421, Georges Popov only started karting when he turned 50 years of age. What do you make of that? Smashing guy, really nice to talk to, and enjoying his karting in, what shall we say, the later years of his sports racing life. Christophe Adams completes another lap in front of Jérôme Bourcard, Colin Davis third, in fourth place Radim Faber. Well, the fastest lap was set by the guy fifth on the circuit, John van Wyk, 52.687. What a surprise, 52.69 there, but on the second lap, John van Wyk. John van Wyk, incidentally, also started karting late. He hadn't turned 50, but he had turned 40 before he started racing. Comes from Johannesburg, and he gave us, there he is in shot, cart number 407, gave us some fabulous racing yesterday, had his very best ever result in the Rotax Euro Challenge in any race, any time, when he came home in second place. And in one of the heats, he may well have finished in third place, but went off on the very last bend in a slight collision. Well, Christophe Adams, who had a big lead of 0.75 of a second, has now only got a lead of 0.36 of a second, as you see on screen. And why is that? It's because little Jerome Burchard is tracking him down. And when I say little, Jerome Burchard, small of stature, only stands a relatively small height, but hey, a real Lionheart when he drives. Colin Davis in third place with the white helmet, just a little bit more detached. But John Van Wyk starting what he was doing yesterday, tracking the guy in front. The guy in front is Radim Faber, cart number 417. So that looks to be the best opportunity for us to get some good close race dicing. After Tiffany Chittenden and Urban Star A in the Mojo Cup, I'm looking for lots and lots of wheel-to-wheel racing. So in this 7-driver field over 16 laps, that might not be so easy. Well, there you see the differential on the time screen. At the moment, it's 0.386. We've rounded it to 0.39, and the bottom line is that Christoph Adams continues to lead, but not by nearly as big a margin as he did lead Jerome Burchard a couple of laps ago. Jerome Burchard putting the pressure on in relative terms. Right at the back, a good dice between Mark Thompson and George Popov. Well, Mark Thompson is from Preston in the north of England in cart number 419. And he's struggled a little bit, but him and George Popov have had some really good dices at the back. And there's a just as we say, bang! Oh, guys, don't let's spoil it, and it has gone wrong. Oh dear, cart number 604. Sorry, cart number 421. George Popov. Well, just when I thought I was talking up a nice dice for us to watch between Mark Thompson and George Popov, it's gone wrong because contact between the two of them has seen George Popov leave the circuit. He just tours in underneath me in the commentary tower here and off the circuit, and so he will take no further part. Just makes a little hand gesture as if to say, oh, there we are. Well, happier things are at the front of the race. That was at the back. That was the dice between the final two. But Chris Adams and Jerome Burchard putting on a dice of their own. Let's hope there's no contact there. And Burchard makes a move for the lead and takes the lead. And fighting back immediately, Chris Adams. And side by side, just as in the Mojo Cup race. And Adams regains the lead. Adams regains the lead from Jerome Burchard, and taking close order in third place is the reigning World Masters champion Colin Davis. So going up the hill to the X-Suit hairpin, and Jerome Burchard makes another bid for the lead and gets through, and so does Colin Davis. So Christoph Adams in one bend goes from first to third. Jerome Burchard, your new race leader. Jerome Burchard in cart number 402, the runner-up in this championship last year, hence the 2 against his number. Now the race leader in front of last year's champion, 401, Colin Davis. Well, Colin Davis in shot there on the right, or just out of shot on the right of your screen now. Chris Adams, the former leader, in shot now. They are the 1, 2, 3 that you see on your screen, spreading out a little bit down the back straight, but I have no doubt at all that this race has still got plenty of mileage in it. Jerome Burchard leads, Colin Davis is in second place, and here's the fight back by Chris Adams, because Chris Adams is putting the pressure on Colin Davis as we go up the hill towards the Exisuit hairpin. It was where Chris Adams went from first to third. It's not his favourite part of the circuit, and consequently that wasn't a place where he could get a challenge on Colin Davis, but Colin Davis in shot there in the white helmet, white racing suit, under very considerable pressure from Christoph Adams with a basic red and yellow livery. Christoph Adams in cart number 408, driving of course the Birel chassis with the predominantly red and white livery. And as we go onto the back straight, this with 9 laps of the 16 remaining to go over the mound on the back straight, well, nobody in a position to make a challenge here, because Jerome Burchard and Colin Davis go through in positions 1 and 2. Again, you see the time differential on screen, but Christoph Adams fighting back. There you see him in shot. Chris Adams goes back into second place. Well, I said that the X-Suit hairpin wasn't his favourite part of the circuit, and indeed it's not, but it was a good enough spot to retake second place back off Colin Davis. So now, can the Englishman from the west of England fight back? He's already a few lengths behind Chris Adams, isn't he? Jerome Bourcard at the front of the race makes that very, very typical little bounce in the seat. I'm sure at some stage in the race we shall see that. He's driving smoothly now. You see how small of stature Jerome Bourcard is. There is Colin Davis, who is not small of stature. And every so often, Jerome Bourcard at the front of the race presently, he just does a little bounce in the seat just to try to get a little bit more traction driven through those wheels. And for saying they've had a really close scrap, well, they've got themselves a little bit spread now, haven't they? Haven't mentioned that John van Wyk got past Radim Faber as he was threatening to do so, but our caption on screen confirms that. And Mark Thompson completes the field in 6th place, having made the passing move on Georges Popov. But sadly, when we thought we might have had a good dice between them, Georges Popov, the amiable 50-year-old Frenchman, unable to complete in the race because of damage to the kart, unable to complete the race, although he did start the race. Well, Jerome Bourcard is a very chirpy little Frenchman, always got a smile for you, always happy to talk to you in the English language. If sometimes I'm not feeling so confident to talk to him in the French language, if I do want to talk to him in French, he will do so. But a very amiable guy, and hey, he's pulling out a lead of over a second, isn't he? 1.297. 1.3 on our caption. Jerome Bourcard leading Chris Adams, Colin Davis in 3rd place. John van Wyk is still in front of Radim Faber, but Mark Thompson getting detached in 6th place. You can see from the differential on the bottom right of the screen there that Mark Thompson is a little bit off the pace. Has struggled a little bit this weekend, and it was so good to see him having a good dice with Georges Popov, but hey, not to be. So, with 6 laps of the 16 remaining to be raced, Jerome Bourcard, who's in shot now, will turn right and does so and moves onto the back straight, up the hill, over the mound. Our television shot shows that very, very more markedly than the naked eye from any vantage point on the circuit. I walked that circuit the first morning I arrived here, and it is a marked mound, but from our elevated commentary point, it looks really nothing more than a little bit of a bump. But as you saw from our television shots, it really is significant on that back straight. Well, Jerome Bourcard has got the advantage of 1 1/3 or 1 1/4 seconds, certainly 1 1/4 seconds over Chris Adams. Colin Davis in 3rd place there, you see in shot, kart number 401 with the Sodi Kart Racing overalls. Drove the Cosmic chassis originally, but now that he's a full team member of Mirror Motorsport, he's driving the Sodi Kart. In the meantime, Jerome Bourcard in kart number 402, he drives the Sodi Kart for a different team, BRK. Well, in the championship standings, Cristiano Magado led the standings, but not coming out in the pre-final, which scores championship points, means that he will not go into the next round leading the championship standings. Let me explain. Chris Magado could come out for the final. The fact that he's not come out for the pre-final doesn't exclude him from coming out for the final later on. He would have to start last, but last in a small field might make for an interesting drive. But on the other hand, it may be that the dizzy spells are such that he's not able to go kart racing. Jerome Bourcard continues to lead Chris Adams with 4 laps to go. Colin Davis, the reigning World Masters champion, in 3rd place. Won that title in Al Ain in the United Arab Emirates, the Emirate of Abu Dhabi. There he is going over the mound on the back straight. And he was also the winner of the Rotax Euro Challenge last year, so a double whammy last autumn for Colin Davis, but not quite so competitive in the Rotax Euro Challenge this year. And unfortunately, he finds in this particular race that Chris Adams and Jerome Bourcard are comfortably in front of him. Margin of 2.7 seconds, 2 3/4 seconds between Jerome Bourcard in 1st place and Colin Davis in 3rd place. John van Wyk in kart number 407 continues in 4th place in front of Radim Faber, and Mark Thompson continues in 6th place to complete the grid. Well, I think Chris Adams is getting a little bit closer to Jerome Bourcard, but I think that with so little of the race remaining, well, there's our caption telling you, isn't it? So, yeah, Christophe Adams getting a little bit closer to Jerome Burkhardt, the race leader, but with just 2 laps to go, I don't think that differential can be eaten into. Let's follow them up the hill as we do. Here's Jerome Burkhardt, the tight right-hander at the top of the hill. Christoph Adams following him. Colin Davis there now, but Jerome Burkhardt, as you see, driving without a pressure situation. Christoph Adams has set the fastest lap though, 52.34, which does confirm that he is reeling in the race leader a little bit. But hey, you see on the top of the screen we're on lap 14 of 16. So when we start the 15th lap, 14 have gone, we're on the 15th lap. The last lap board will be shown in approximately 20 seconds when Jerome Burkhardt comes round. Well, goes over the mound. Chris Adams goes over the mound, round the big right-hander. Colin Davis follows them. There you 1, 2, 3. So the last lap begins. 1 to go, 1 to go, 1 to go. Jerome Burkhardt not been making that little bouncy movement. There is Reinhard Tropp, the assistant clerk of the course, showing the last lap board. Jerome Burkhardt just has 1 lap to hold off the challenge of Chris Adams. Chris Adams is markedly quicker. There's no question about that. Maybe that Jerome Burkhardt is driving within himself, maybe a tyres thing. It may simply be that Jerome Burkhardt is thinking to himself, look, I have a cushion. If you catch me, you've still got to go past me. There's only 4 bends remaining. There's one of them. We're into the Serpentine before the right-hander onto the back straight for the 16th and final time. Jerome Burkhardt goes down that back straight. Chris Adams looks over his right shoulder. There's no challenge, Chris, but you're not going to catch the race winner because here he is taking the victory. It's Jerome Burkhardt. Second is Christoph Adams. Third is Colin Davis. We look for the 4th place finisher. He finishes 4th now, which is John van Wyk. And in shot, the race leader or race winner, Jerome Burkhardt. Coming home in 5th place, the driver from the Czech Republic is Radim Faber. And about to complete 6th place, completing the field, is Mark Thompson, and he does so. Well, the little chirpy Frenchman will be a little bit more chirpy than normal with that. He has won the pre-final. That scored him championship points, and he starts the final in pole position. Confirmation on our caption then of the race win for Frenchman Jerome Burkhardt. Chris Adams from Belgium, the French-speaking part of Belgium. Colin Davis from Great Britain. John van Wyk from South Africa. Radim Faber's improved in this particular event. I think he's showing a little bit more form than previously, and of course round 3 is in the Czech Republic, so that's going to work to his favour. Mark Thompson a little bit off the pace, but hey, the guy from Preston in the north of England, he says, I'm enjoying myself, I'm doing it for fun. Yeah, Mark, you're absolutely right, why not? And the unlucky Georges Popov going out on the 4th or 5th lap, but there we are, that's racing.